going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and I'm fresh from E3. I got both Nano and Lotus actually right next to me, IRL. Hi. That was Lotus, and that's Nano over there. Cool. You couldn't give me a better intro?
Lame.
I can't at least get you.
All right.
Thank you. Now,
Tyler, aka Nanogenics.
there you go. I just got back from E3 day one, and obviously one of the first games I want to check out by Baying the Name Key is none other than Jump Force itself, aka J-Stars 2.0. Good or bad, I'll get to it in a couple seconds. We also got a chance to play the My Hero Academia game, and I gotta say, actually, it kind of blew me away. It was a lot more fun than I expected. Not that I wasn't hyped for it, I was already very excited to play it, but the game ended up being a lot of fun, which I might talk about in another video if you actually want that to actually happen, so let me know down below. 2, Jump Force. So many questions, probably. What I want you guys to do in the comment section below, 2 things. Number 1, if you have for Jump Force, make sure you slap a like on the video right now. Hit the thumbs up. And 2, any questions you might particularly have about the game based on the E3 footage, let me know down below. Now, obviously, in the background of this video, you're going to see the various gameplays that Baying the Name Key released in the past week, which features, I believe, Sasuke versus Zoro. We saw Frieza versus Goku. We also saw a couple other things, which is basically all the basic gameplay that we got. Not really too much, because again, the game was just announced, and with the game that's coming out in 2019, there's probably a lot more that still has to go into before we know what exactly we're getting. But to get right into the nitty-gritty of it, what is it? Basically, it is like a J-Stars 2.0, as I said, but in a better way. Now, that could be a both a good and bad thing for you guys, depending on how you actually felt about J-Stars if you actually got a chance to play it. While I enjoyed J-Stars for what it was, I gotta say it hit that glass ceiling at some point where, like, you kind of got tired of playing it, at least with me. I mean, obviously, it varies with people, and some of you guys to this day probably still play J-Stars. When it comes to playing with your friends, by far, easily one of the most funnest games I've played in a very, very long time. But it just, as far as like the longevity of it, it just wasn't there for me. The thing about J-Stars is it lacked those things that, you know, an anime arena fighter kind of needed for the long run. And I think actually, off my first time playing it, I feel like what we saw with Jump Force, it kind of fills in those gaps. Again, off of my first time playing it, for all I know, I might just be super really hype about it, and I actually, by the time I actually get the game, I have completely different feels of it. But off the first time playing it, I gotta say, it is a really pretty looking game. It's kind of weird, though, because like seeing Frieza look like that, it's like, why does he look like that? But I think the best way to describe it, and actually I said this when I was there, is it's like if anime was real life. If Frieza came into real life, Goku came to real life, that's what they would look like. And actually, that's kind of like their thing. I think the 2 maps that they had is they had the Matterhorn, which is a mountain, in case you didn't know. And 2, we have New York City, which is like, why is Goku fighting New York City? So it's literally anime coming out of the freaking mangas, out the mangas, out the anime, and coming to real life, and that's what the game is. Now, as far as how it actually works, it is a 1v1 setting. One thing I didn't particularly like is the fact that each character has 1 health bar, basically, and once the health bar hits 0, you lose. But within that health bar, you can switch characters in the 3v3 setting, so you can do stuff like assists. So, for example, if I pick, let's say, Goku, and my characters are Sasuke and Naruto, I can have him pop in for an assist attack left and right, or I can switch in. And the switch-ins look beautiful. One thing that they nailed in the game, off my first time playing, like I said, was the fact that it looks really pretty. From doing the basic combos, the basic squares and triangle combos, literally just mashing buttons, it looks beautiful. The movement is very, very fluid. It's a lot faster than J-Stars. And actually, in fact, J-Stars was a 2v2 game, right? Originally? I don't remember. It's been so long.
Nah, I think you pick 1 character and you have assists.
Right, you pick 1 character and you get an assist. I gotta go back and replay it. The way this works is it's more of a 1v1 fight, but like you actually have, like I said, 3 characters this time that you can all control. And hopefully this time, if Hisoka ends up being in the game, he's actually a playable character and not just an assist.
Put some respect on my man's name. How dare they have him as an assist-only character?
Right? First of all, I need Metal in the game. Another question I want to toss out there is if there's any character you can have from the Jump series that you would love to see in this game, who would that be and why? Pick one. Who? Yo Asakura from Shaman King. Actually, fun fact, he actually was data mined in J-Stars 1, but never was released. So he's a character that they planned on releasing at some point and then didn't do it. Same thing with, I believe, Jotaro, was it? And then another character. And then someone else, whatever. Which I've never watched that series before, but you know I might watch it eventually. But essentially, I feel like a lot of characters we've seen in the past might be making a comeback. In the DS version of the Jump games, they have people like, they have Yugi, Yami Yugi, and he would like fight by basically pulling out, you know, Dark Magician Girl, Dark Magician. He had Obelisk, I believe. And then they had a bunch of other characters that just didn't make the main cut. But now I feel like it's been so many years, they probably had a chance to kind of really dig into the game and like figure out who else would be dope to add and have their own unique fight styles. With that said, in the initial reveal trailer, if you guys saw, Light Yagami is in the end. The fact that Light Yagami fits in this game, and he's going to have probably a very unique fight style, shows you that like there's a lot of potential for some of your favorite anime characters of all time to make it into this game. So again, who would you love to see and why? Let me know down below. As far as the basic mechanics, so you got your standard, it's similar to I don't know how to call it. Let's call it the J-Star engine. You hold R1 basically, or guard, and you can block, and you can also do like side steps and vanishes and stuff like that. But it felt very, very fluid. And as you do stuff like the aerial dashes into your opponent, like it just works. It fits. And every time you do something epic, they show like up close-ups of your face. Like for example, I was doing something where I was playing as Frieza, and I would dash into, and I think I was fighting against Goku, whatever. I would dash in, and it would show like quickly like the Frieza's face as he's running in, and then it switches back over to show you do the actual attack. Like the attacks felt like they had impact, if that makes sense, which is something that J-Stars didn't necessarily have, because again, J-Stars is meant to be more of a casual game where it focused more on just kind of like, you know, what if scenarios. Like, what if we had someone like Sasuke going up against Luffy from One Piece, or we have like Gon fighting Yusuke, which is kind of funny because they're basically from the same author, and that's kind of what the goal was with J-Stars, as well as the previous Jump games. But like this right here is like the next level of it. Now, as far as like the problems with it, I feel like, again, off of playing the first time, I'm not trying to knock the game, I feel like at some point it might hit the same issues that J-Stars did have, where basically it's like you've done everything you can do. And for example, I'm sure if we get to the point where people figure out the perfect loops of like basically getting instant kills, we could probably see that at some point. But for what the game was right now, it was a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, when I get in the room with this man over here, or this man over here, or everybody else like you guys, it's gonna be a blast, especially when you pick your favorite characters. Yeah. The way the actual basics of the game works is it had a kind of that Xenoverse feel where if you hit R2, or I guess the right trigger in this case, because we played on the Xbox, it will pull up a menu of attacks. And for example, let's use Goku, because obviously it's a Dragon Ball channel. It's the best way to describe it. Goku and Frieza. Goku had a variation of like a melee attack, which I don't remember what it actually did. It was called Raging Strike, I think. He had Kaioken attack, and then he had Kamehameha, which was basic super attacks. If you take enough damage, you build your meter, which is actually located next to your health bar. You're actually able to go into two things. One, you can do an awakening by just pressing the stick down, which in this case would be Goku goes Super Saiyan. Sasuke, I forgot what Sasuke did. I think he activated his Rinnegan. Naruto obviously would go into stage 6 path mode, and I don't think Frieza had one, so not everybody has an awakening. But if you also want to use an offensive version of an attack, like if the meter is full, you can go into essentially your ultimate attack, your level 3. Goku had the Spirit Bomb, which you already seen in the actual trailer and the gameplay that was released the other day. Frieza had the Death Ball. Sasuke had the what does Sasuke have? Amaterasu. No, Amaterasu was a super attack, if I remember correctly. Basically, all the signature attacks to make those characters special. Luffy had 4th gear. I don't remember if Luffy had 4th gear as an awakening as well, but essentially he would go into 4th gear for the ultimate attack, and then it's like super flashy, and it just looks pretty. The stage transitions, I don't know how they did it, but I thought it was going to be annoying and obnoxious, but like it was smooth. Like there were several stage transitions that I specifically saw on the New York map. There's literally a part where literally I was a Goku, and I think I was fighting. I fought Naruto, and literally, I wish I recorded this. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna see gameplay at some point over the course of the next couple months. I literally kicked Naruto across New York and jumped on his face and grinded, like skateboard grinded him across the skyscraper before transitioning to the next part of the map, which was on top of a building. It looks so good, and I'm not trying to like overhype it right now, which I'm sure it looks like what I'm doing, but like again, like I'm off my E3 high right now, where it's like we got a new anime game and it looks solid. Again, it's not gonna be perfect, I can tell you right now. And as far as what else is gonna change over time, I'm sure we're gonna go through many variations of the game. One of the things I really hope changes is the fact that they need to make it so the fights last longer. Because I don't know if it's just because we fought a computer, but they felt very short. And again, it looked like each character was tied to one health bar. So like no matter how much health you had left, if you had 10% health and you switch it to Goku or Frieza or Vegeta or anybody, well, not Vegeta because he wasn't in the demo, but whenever you switch a character, like that's it, that's the health you had. Like you didn't have individual health like you did in other games where you tag in and out. But overall, though, it was a lot of fun. I definitely want to play more. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play 2v2s, or I mean, not 2v2, 2 players. They basically had a demo setup where you just fought against the computer, which again makes sense because I'm sure this game is still in its early stages. But again, from the small piece that we got, it was a lot of fun. What do you like? I talked a lot right now.
I mean, yeah, I agree. The thing is, like, I was surprised by how fun I thought the game
Pop in
was.
here. Let's get local.
Hey, how y'all doing? Was good. Was bragging. Anyway, what I was gonna say is I was surprised by how much fun the game was because I didn't actually expect it to be all that. Because I looked at it, and I really thought J-Stars, and I know how J-Stars was for me. Like, it was really fun for like the first maybe month or two that I played it.
Couple months. For me, a couple months at least.
Right, for me, I only played it for about a month, and it got really repetitive for me. So I didn't have super high hopes. I thought it looked amazing. It's a visual spectacle for sure. But I mean, like the gameplay, especially so early on, because like we just got the reveal yesterday. Or the day before?
Yeah.
So like we knew nothing about this. It literally came out of nowhere, and they already had like a playable build like at E3. So that already blew my mind first and foremost. But I mean, yeah, the game seems like a lot more fun than I initially gave it credit for, and I'm looking forward to seeing what direction it goes.
There were definitely a lot more defense mechanisms too, because I saw stuff like I knocked the computer knocked me across the map, and in the air, instead of like keeping the combo going, I was actually able to snap vanish out of the attack and counter and send it back to Earth. So like it had a lot more mechanics as far as like being able to like dodge and move and stuff. Again, it felt very, very fluid. J-Stars felt kind of stiff.
It felt way smoother than J-Stars.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's still a similar feeling, but it definitely felt a lot
It's
smoother.
better. I mean, for it being a sequel to J-Stars, it definitely is a sequel. That makes sense.
Right.
I don't know. Over the course of the next couple weeks / months, there's definitely gonna be more as far as gameplays coming out for it. I'm gonna try to make a couple trips to Bayonetta so I can get some actual gameplay without people screaming in my ear. Because again, this is in a public place, so it was really tough to actually get some recordings for it. But I'm definitely gonna try to get some kind of gameplay around it and definitely put a lot of content out on that game as it gets released. Because again, I kind of built my channel off of J-Stars initially when that game came out back in 2013-ish. So expect that to come back. But other than that, that's it. I'm gonna try to, not to talk too much. So if you have any specific questions off of a demo build, let me know. Obviously, if you ask me what characters are in the game, I don't know. The demo had Zoro, Luffy, Sasuke, Naruto, Goku, Frieza, and that's it. So that's all I can tell you about as far as those characters. But as far as anything else, I don't really know. But if you have any specific questions about the gameplays, especially compared to J-Stars, let me know down below. And again, if you're hyped for the release of Jump Force in 2019, make sure you slap that like button right now. Other than that, I guess that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. My name is Rhymestyle. That was Lotus and Nano, who didn't really say anything, but he was there in spirit. Hope you enjoyed us today. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.